Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This is the Oneness Podcast. I am Jessica Delmar, and in this episode, we are going to be talking about moving, relocating, and traveling in order to harmonize energy and what that's all about. So a lot of people are getting the inspiration to move, relocate, or travel. They're getting sort of that itch and not being where they are. There is a shift happening this year of 2023, and it's going to continue to happen in the next 3 years that drops energy into the heart, opening more of a heart-centered consciousness we know of as Christ consciousness. This has been occurring for quite some time, but this year of 2023 holds a strong activation for more people to awaken to this inner truth through the heart. As energy returns to the heart, or more so as it starts to open and express more from the heart, the physical form becomes more in tune with the earth. There is a strong magnetic pull between the human physical form and the earth physical form. And in this attunement, the earth grid aligns with your physical form grid to integrate balance and energy harmonization. In other words, the earth energetic field aligns with your physical energetic field to integrate balance and energy harmonization. For some, this means moving, relocating, or traveling because the energy you are integrating to create a heart-centered balance may not be a vibrational match to where you are. This is not necessarily relevant to everyone, and there are many different levels, meaning moving or relocating is kind of a strong pull on the spectrum, but there are many other things in between in regards to moving or relocating or transferring your energy within where you are. This could be maybe moving to a different job, a different home, a different relationship, changing up your diet. There's a lot of forms of moving, if you will, or energetic forms of moving or shifting or changing that is occurring within so many people right now. So it really depends upon your internal energy, mission, and soul work. And because a lot more people are awakening to these deeper senses of their soul work and their mission on this planet, they are receiving more of that greater side of the spectrum in terms of actual moving or relocating. The energy activating through awakening and through this greater Christ consciousness integration is naturally pulled into the heart. And so if you are able to align to the heart, it will reveal your true nature. And everything in your life is working to support the development, expansion, and well-being of that inner true nature. The rhythm of your inner nature must match the rhythm of your outer nature. This is what creates the harmonization between your physical form and the planet's physical form energy fields, which is why also many people are called to move, or are also feeling more in resistance to where they are because they're feeling the pull, they're feeling the call, they're feeling the shift, but they are resisting it. The earth is assisting strongly with this deeper heart-based resonance and harmony. Each person holds different energetic natures. Therefore, the harmonization of both the inner and outer rhythm may be different for each person, like I said before, depending upon where you feel called or how you feel called internally. And again, there are many things that we can do to activate this momentum or this shift within the inner and outer frequency fields that can work to create more balance and harmonization. So maybe you feel called to ground more. Maybe you feel called to lift more. Maybe you feel called to be more in the heart space. Maybe you feel called to be more in the root space. Maybe you feel called to be more in the mind space. There are a lot of shifts happening depending upon your unique balancing. We each hold different journeys, energetic signatures, and missions upon the planet, which is why it's so necessary to be tuned in to what your inner callings or your internal guidance is telling you and where your internal compass is leading you. All in all, the energy of the planet is assisting us with recalibrating, aligning, balancing, and harmonizing our internal nature, which is always heart-centered. So the energy of the planet is helping to establish whatever your inner callings are through heart-based resonance, which is a calling back to the self in order to establish a sense of wholeness and consciousness through that heart-based resonance. So let's talk more about moving, relocating, or traveling for those of you who are feeling more of that strong inclination. So a lot of it has to do with your energy field and how it's expanding. So you are essentially outgrowing where you are. So you may feel constricted in your space and you're seeking a new space. This sort of tightness, if you will, of energy is knowing that your energy expands beyond what can be offered where you stand. And if you are feeling a strong resistance or a strong tightness or a feeling of suffocation where you are because you need to be somewhere else, but you're resisting going to somewhere else, then you're going to feel even more stronger resistance to where you are. So when those feelings come through, it's usually due to the limitation that the mind has created in your life experience that is sort of boxing you into this space that you have outgrown. And even though you know you have outgrown this space, getting past this space requires a heart-centered approach if your mind is still in its limiting beliefs and programs. So once you begin dropping more into the heart and resonating more in that heart space, you recognize how small and limiting your life has become if your mind has those limiting factors. And especially if you used to live more through that mind space, providing those boundaries and boxing you in to the limiting programs that your mind has created for you. But more so, you recognize the rapid growth occurring internally, which is revealed through the heart. And if your external environment is not supporting that internal growth and expansion, then a shift must occur in order to continue to feel supported in your growth cycle. So we know that in this shift, especially with a lot of my work, it's all about the present now moment. It's all about aligning into your ease, aligning into your flow. And so you have to constantly be gauging your energy and observing where in your energy field there is resistance popping up or there is some stuckness popping up, because your energy is constantly fluctuating, expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting. And sometimes we get these surges of expansion due to surges of contraction. And so if we're able to gauge our energy field and constantly know what's going on through how we feel, then we will know where we are being asked to expand, when we're being asked to expand. Because you'll move into spaces that feel good. You'll move into spaces that feel back into ease rather than resisting wherever you are. And that observation can only really be done through the heart space. This is essentially your growth cycle that you are being aware of. And instead of resisting that growth cycle, you are simply moving with it because you can feel how it is moving. And the other thing is that there is no limit to expansion, especially when our greater body that we can directly identify with in this sort of tangible perception is the earth body being our greater body. So if we know that that's our greater body, there is limitless potential to expand. There is so much abundance here for us to expand into. And when I say that the earth is our greater body, what I mean is energetically, we are able to feel into the earth body. We are not only limited to our individual bodies and the energy going on within our individual bodies. However, it is important to know our individual bodies, because it is only when we know our individual bodies and our energetic fields do we then know how our individual energetic fields can open up and tap into energetic fields that are greater than us, energetic bodies that are greater than us. It's all about how we funnel into that greater wholeness. And so having this huge, abundant earth is direct evidence of a greater body that we can tap into, a greater energy field that can help to fuel our individual experience. Part of this process is our relationship with the earth, with the planet. The earth is huge. It is a limitless supply of abundance. Your mind is going to tell you all of the reasons why the earth is a limited resource, but your heart will show you all of the reasons how the earth is a limitless source of abundance. And so shifting a lot of those programs are part of us moving beyond our boxes that we've created. It's part of us moving into a greater expansion, into the unknown, is shifting a lot of those belief systems we have about our planet and about ourselves and our limiting resources. Because truly we do live in an abundant space. We live on an abundant planet. We live in an abundant universe. There is limitless resources once you tap in, once you surpass your individual limitation and tap into sources supplementation. We must remember that we are the vessels of movement, flexibility, and adaptability. We must go towards the source of water, which is an internal knowing, an internal flowing, and an internal non-resistance. We cannot expect there to be a path and have the source of water come to us. Instead, we feel the path internally, knowing that it is taking us to our internal source of water. Yes, we all hold a source within each of us, but the important part of our human mission is resonance, meaning we hold all of the answers, but we were never meant to stay still. That's why the human form was created to walk and to move. It was not created like a tree with roots. The human form was created to move, again, like cells in the body. Our internal resonance tells us our inner truth, and with our knowing of inner truth, a path is then made. I love that, so I'm going to say it again. Our internal resonance tells us our inner truth, and with our knowing of inner truth, a path is made. And with that path, we find how our inner truth can match and resonate within our external environment through feeling. This is the way of the human being, created to walk the earth, sharing internal truth with those who are reflecting with it externally. Remember, there must be an energetic balance internally and externally. So when you feel a massive amount of energy internally, but externally you do not find resonance with that same type of energy, then a balanced exchange becomes more difficult. Many people hold this energy in or find ways to compromise their existence in a stifling environment. Of course, there's always ways to make it work and balance energy utilizing the imagination, but for some people, they physically cannot feel the balance or expansion without feeling the proper exchange of energy. This, in essence, is our creativity and ability to be one with our environment, moving and flowing with it instead of resisting it. And this most often occurs in people who are very connected to the earth grid and being able to feel where they're needed, being able to feel what they need to do in order to continue to establish a harmonic, heart-based resonance between their physical form and the earth form. Now, everyone has this capability to be in that space of connection with the earth. However, some are just more sensitive to it than others because the awareness is more open. To have this open awareness, you must be willing to put your internal guidance system first and foremost, before your external expectation. Most everyone does feel their internal navigation. So, for example, when their internal navigation says, I don't like this, I want to be somewhere different, whether it's a job, a home, an emotion, a relationship, etc., But the thing is that they focus so much on their external conditions to give them reasons why things cannot change. And so many people stay the same. They settle into being somewhere that they do not want to be. Remember that the earth and its greater source energy wants to support you in not only expanding your energy, but being in a place that also fulfills the space to hold the energy that you are expanding into. This not only allows your energy to exist in a comfortable way, but it also grants the space for others to be in your energy field and for you to receive so much more energy in alignment to what you hold and desire. We do not have to suffer in our physical bodies alone, but if we can find alignment with a greater body, our energy expands, not only within our physical form, but within a much greater form that is able to hold it. So for example, say that you're an artist in a very small town, a very small secluded town, and you have a lot of creativity that wants to express and grow and expand. You know that your energy has outgrown the energy of where you are, simply because you know that where you are does not hold the capacity that you're looking for to fulfill the energy that you are growing into. So you want to expand your creative work. You want to connect with others who are also creative. You want to be surrounded by people who understand you and your vision, like-minded and like-hearted people. You want to show your work to the world. You want to grow and do things you've never done before because you know it inspires you. Now, it's very possible to be able to do that if you stay in that small, secluded town. But for some people, they receive that deeper calling to move. So they go to a bigger city where there's more opportunity, etc., etc. So a lot of people are feeling that shift. The other thing that's coming through that's been happening a lot is the feeling, right? When you conjure all of those feelings of expansion, you are able to manifest through your feeling. You're able to manifest that experience for you. So although a lot of people are being called to move, to experience the manifestation of their feeling of expansion, what's happening more and more and more is people are feeling the expansion and possibly the call to move, but in gaining momentum of the feeling in where they are, they actually bring the expansion to them. And before you know it, things start popping up, things start coming to you, things start gaining momentum in alignment with your desires for expansion where you are. There's so much possibility and opportunity for new growth, and it is sprouting where people are. Ooh, that's a big one. So even though moving is still a big thing, we have to also understand that the opportunity for growth is more capable now than ever before to sprout exactly where you stand. But you have to be in a place where the energetic momentum is great. It has to be it's got to be moving very rapidly where you are. And how that happens is through the internal feeling, through the magnetization. The earth will pull it and bring it to you. It might not necessarily be in the fullness of what you're desiring, but it will give you enough in order to then kind of keep following the breadcrumbs and move with the expansion, possibly in other areas, etc. But that's not impossible to have it sprout where you are. So we really have to understand how our energy is moving and flowing with our environment, and that it is part of our work to maintain that balance and that feeling of ease, both internally and externally. If our energy expanded purely in our physical form, meaning we weren't dependent upon our physical environment to help us attune, to help us calibrate our energy, then our human form would not be able to hold our expanding energy. Our energy has to move and flow. It has to give and receive. It moves outward from our body and internally into our body in that toroidal field. So again, part of expanding is also integrating that much larger body, whether it's the earth body, your spiritual body, the source body, the universal body. These things keep going on. It's an infinite realm of energy, if you will. So we're always expanding in alignment with the greater body. And this helps show us how we can expand our energy, how we can move beyond this physical human form. But in order to do so, it requires a huge amount of belief and faith in this much larger body that we might not necessarily be able to see as directly our own. So for example, the earth body, a lot of people do not recognize it as a greater part of their earth human body. It's unfathomable for people to receive that information. But if you think about it, so for example, it's like our direct physical form is like a cell, right? And I've said this many times before. We, as human beings, are like cells of the earth. We are not separate, but we rely on each other in this symbiotic relationship. The moment that we realize this is the moment that we have opportunities to heal on much deeper and greater levels beyond what we can ever imagine as doing just by ourselves in this physical human body as individuals. So again, this energy of moving and shifting is not only applying to traveling or relocating, it applies to every single day. It applies to how you navigate your earthly experience. You expand and contract every single day, and becoming in tune with what that feels like and where your internal guidance is taking you and moving you is what allows you to be in tune with the greater, ever-changing and ever-evolving path of your life. Change does not need to be such a sharp and painful thing. It is part of the process that we go through in life. The only reason why it becomes painful is because we become comfortable in the areas where it is not painful, and we resist the opportunities that call forth change through the discomfort. Every single person is notified of change coming internally. We were made to adapt. We were made to align harmoniously with the natural rhythm of Earth. Our bodies pick up on change energetically, no matter what the change is. We are part of nature, and all of nature has the ability to do this. It is an energetic ripple effect that integrates throughout the entire environment, and we are part of that environment. So, if you are present with yourself and follow the flow of your internal guidance, then you will feel the changes happening within. At first, these changes are so slight, but they pick up momentum until it's inevitable. Most people do not feel these slight internal shifts. They ignore it, and then they're shocked when the big change bursts open or breaks through. But there's always time to be flexible. There's always time to adapt to new directions and surrender to change. Remember, you are not separate from the earth, and the earth is not separate from you. And as you feel those deep internal rumblings within you, you must expect that there will be changes externally too. So trust your inner navigation. It will take you to exactly where you need to be for all the changes to happen in an unfolding experience that you chose to be part of in this very now moment. And that's what came through for this episode. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your support. Thanks for listening. Oneness, love, and peace be with you.